Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Parent to Parent. I'm so glad that you're with us today, whether you're joining us from our Fox Local app or Facebook or YouTube. I think what we're going to talk about is such an important conversation because there's so many people that are going through a situation that, might be surprising to many or just very, uncomfortable. The gamut's all over the place, and you've probably seen the title, so you know what we're talking about. Newly Single Parent Guide for the Holiday by Single Parents. And I'm going to introduce you to two wonderful women who are mothers of multiple children. So they are in the thick of it. They're working. They're, just great, I would say, examples of just trying to help each other out kind of thing. The reason we started this podcast, this live stream, and these segments is because I'm growing as a mother. I'm learning things, and there's no manual, so it's like, okay, it's sort of like a manual takes a detour when there's separation or some type of difference in the year, especially for the holidays. It's hard. I was reading an article saying the holidays hurt for single parents and how you can cope with it, and so that's really what I want to focus on is the coping part of it, because I think that that's so important. And I really do hope this helps out so many people. So first, I'm going to introduce you to Brianna. She is here with us. Brianna, thank you so much.
Hi, thank you
Hi.
for having me.
We talked with Brianna last week about Elf on the Shelf, and you did such a great job because the response was awesome. People not feeling so pressured with social media and all that, with all these traditions, and whatever you can do, and it's okay, it's fine. I mean, actually, a couple of days ago, my friend was like, "Are you going to do the gingerbread houses again this year?" I'm like, it's not happening this year. It's just not going to happen.
Good for you.
I mean, so I just don't have time to do all that. But, the point of that whole thing was that it's okay to say no. And so, Brianna, just tell me a little bit about your children.
Yeah, so I have two sons. They're 6 and 3, and the oldest one just started kindergarten this year, and they are both just very outgoing, very very loving. They're just they're absolutely sweet, and I have them 50% of the time. So every Friday I switch off with their dad. So he'll have them for a week, and then I'll have them for the following week.
And what's that been like for you?
It took a lot of adjustment. So my divorce finalized at the end of January, and so February is really when the schedule started, and I was living in my new house, and it definitely was like those first few months were really hard. Honestly, it still is hard. Like, a friend actually texted me the other day and asked, when does it get easier to drop your kid off with their dad? And I said, I was actually just thinking how every Friday I am sad. It's interesting because, I think just like any parent, like come Wednesday, I'm like, oh my God, thank God they're going to their dads. I need a break because I've been, parenting by myself for a full week. But then by Thursday, I'm really sad they're leaving. And then Friday, once I drop them off at school and know that they'll be picked up by their dad, I definitely miss them. So I try to really keep myself busy, either with friends or doing things around the house that I can't really do while they're there, or just doing something for myself.
That's so important, is taking care of yourself. And I want to bring in Margaret too. Margaret, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So you have older children. So tell me about your children.
Yes, so I'm on another spectrum. My youngest is 14, so newly single here. So I originally came into the family. This is Ingrid. She's 14. I originally came into the family with two of my own children, and I got married 15 years ago to a man who had three of his own children. He had Ingrid together. So we have had a blended family. And I think the wonderful thing about what we've done is we've really tried And we told the children to always stick together, and they always have each other. And that's one of the things that I think that is really wonderful through all of this, is trying to have some sort of stability through the family bond, through the children, and really trying to have what has been a really difficult situation for Ingrid, for the parents. It's been quite a bit of stability that she's been able to experience through her siblings, and remaining in the support system that she's had all this time. So.
And what's it been like for you these past few months?
It's but definitely been a roller coaster, I will say. My situation is a little different in terms of what we tried to do in terms of finding our rhythm. The children are a little older. And so what we've attempted to do is a little bit more flexibility instead of sticking to a more traditional visitation schedule. Ingrid certainly is older. She has friends, she has her siblings. What we've tried to do is her father is a lot more involved in terms of picking her up from school activities. We'll try and do joint activities where she's playing volleyball, and we'll be there for her together, or either as a family. We also, in terms of the holidays, where if there's a few days right now that she has off, if she wants to go spend a couple days with her dad before Christmas, she's more than willing and able to do that. During Christmas Day, her siblings will come over. They'll spend time at their mom's. They'll spend time together. And if they want to kind of rotate through houses and see their dad, they're able to do that. So we really have created this environment where we really do want them not to have that ability to choose per se, but to really have it kind of open and fluid, where they're able to really kind of enjoy the best of all of the worlds. So.
Yeah, that's great. And that's great advice. And thank you for both of you sharing your stories. I think I told Brianna this. So personally, my parents got divorced after 30 years. And so that was another spectrum, because, we were sort of older too. And that was a long time. But I would say from the other end, looking at it, it, obviously was just traumatic for us, because we were like a lot older, and like, what in the world is going on? Like, you're our world and this is crumbling, and but it almost sort of in a weird way prepared me also for the real world, in terms of, you go to college, or you get married, and you have, other places to be, or you might have a job where you can't be home for Christmas. So you might have to spend it at a friend's family's house, or you might have to, so it almost like made it easier for me as I got older, because I just knew wherever I was and whoever I cared about, as long as I was able to call them or FaceTime them, that's all that really mattered at the end of the day. And all the effort you both are putting in right now, like, that doesn't go unnoticed. So it's like that hurtful part where it's like, man, I wish mom and dad were together. I don't think about it that way. I'm just like, man, I got to spend time with my mom to do this. My dad did this, and we did, so I don't know if that brings any solace to you both, but I'm just saying that from the other end, like, I mean, I'm sure when you think about your childhood, you think about a lot of the good things too. Like, that's just having the undivided attention of your parents, which is huge. And I am guilty of this, where I have my phone like on me. And even if I have my phone like upside down, it's not the same as just having it in another room. And my 3-year-old has said, Mommy, stop texting. And I'm like, Rashi, stop it. Like, you got to check yourself. Are you serious right now? Like, so, and then she'll act like she's on her phone, like her little play phone. And I'm like, this is not the direction we're going. So what has been the response from your children? Margaret, I'll ask you, because your boys are little, but they still, I mean, I'm sure, express how they feel.
Yeah, it was something that we were definitely worried about. We told our oldest was the one who understood the most. And the youngest, not as much, of course, but now he understands. And so I remember I was driving them to school, and it had been about 3 weeks after I had moved out. And my youngest, Sam, the 3-year-old, was kind of throwing a fit. And I told his brother, I said, we need to just give him some grace. Like, we're all kind of dealing with a lot right now. We're adjusting. And my oldest goes, what are we adjusting to? And I said, well, Mama and Daddy are living in houses now. And he goes, oh, I'm not adjusting. I love that. He's like, I think it's great. So, I think that definitely, like, deep down, obviously there's moments where I can tell that that it's getting to them emotionally. I can tell that maybe they're confused or they're upset that, like, they're having to switch houses. But at the end of the day, they're so much happier. There's not that tension in the household anymore. Mom and dad are happier. And when you have a happier mom and dad, then you're a happier kid. And so I know that we're all doing much better because of it. It's really hard in the beginning, and you are worried that you're ruining your children's lives. But I think growing up in separate households is much better for a child than growing up in a household that where you're just not seeing love the way that it's supposed to be, and you can feel that tension even if someone's trying to hide it. So
definitely. And I can tell you, I've also, like, personally gone to a child psychologist because I felt this guilt because I'm not I don't talk to my father, and I feel bad because he doesn't have that part, but he has that with his paternal grandfather. But, like, so what would he think? What we, all this stuff. And the psychologist said they just want to see you happy. That's all it is. That's all that matters. Whether you're 2 or you're 20, like, and that's true. So it I really think that that's very important to keep in mind. The other thing I was going to say is my mom, my whole family's from India, and they grew up in India, and it's very taboo to get divorced. So being here in the US, I think more and more women feel, I would say, more empowered than maybe in other countries to be able to take the step to do this. And I feel like there's so many support groups and stuff, and my mom has had all that support as well. So that has really helped her. So,
I was just going to say, my parents, we grew up very evangelical. My parents were pastors. And so it's not a taboo to get divorced, but it definitely wasn't, I did not have a lot of support at the beginning of this process, unfortunately, and went through a lot of it with the support of my friends, but not as much with the support of my family. Thankfully, they've come around a little bit more. But while it's not as taboo in America, it still is taboo. Like, it's especially for women. I feel like more than for men, because women are expected to always put their children first, and that includes remaining in an unhappy marriage, unfortunately.
Definitely. And Margaret, what about you? How have your children responded?
Yeah, I'm going to say for sure. For me, I also grew up evangelical Christian, and so there was a lot of internalized pressure to make sure that I did.
Are you there, Margaret?
I think she froze on us.
The eyeshadow is great.
It is.
I love it.
I'm not mad at the frozen picture. Oh,
did she join us? I don't know.
Oh,
let me. Oh God. Okay. Well, let me see. Let me message her and let her know she's frozen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing what she was saying.
She just texted me. Oh, no, that's somebody else. Margaret, where is your information?
This is what happens when things are live, huh?
Yes.
Oh, she said, I can hear and see you both. She's chatting.
Oh, she's chatting. I can hear and see you both. Okay. Maybe you just need to log off and log back in.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, let me just remove her for right now. If you want to, okay, awesome. We'll see you then. So what do you think it took for your family? Because that's really interesting to come around to this.
Honestly, it took them seeing how I was treated like afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's what it took. For some of them, it still isn't, and unfortunately, I think that's the problem with, or not the problem with family, but the issue with family is that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they still see you as like, who you used to be, and so they expect you to behave in a certain way, or they expect. I think family oftentimes can sometimes expect the worst of us and maybe give grace to the other person more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's still not. I still don't have 100% support.
Mm-hmm. That's got to be hard. And I know Margaret, we can't see you. I don't know why, but she had a similar kind of situation. So I was interested in hearing what she had to say.
Yeah,
Message her. Can you hear or see us?
she can see herself.
She can. I am seeing myself. Okay. Is the video turned on? Margaret. Yeah, I don't know what to. That's what we're seeing, Margaret. That's weird.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Um,
Technology.
yeah, technology. What the heck? Well, yeah, this is what happens. This is what we're seeing. I don't know if you can do something.
Yeah, maybe log out, exit the browser, close the browser,
Yeah.
reopen it again, and then try to log back in.
Yeah, maybe you just need to like exit and then log back in.
Yeah, shut everything down.
Okay. Shut it all down. Yes. We're trying to get Margaret back. All right. Well, and do you have, you were saying siblings too. Has
Mhm.
that helped, or have you, because I not everyone has a great relationship with their siblings. I mean,
Mhm.
you're supposed to be super close, and
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily always have to be the case. So where are you with that, or how's that helped or hurt or whatever?
Yeah, no, for sure. So my older sister actually is divorced as well. She got divorced before me. And so I know that she said, when I told her what was happening, she was like, oh, thank God I won't be like the only one.
Oh.
And it's true. Like, we are, it's nice that we're able to understand that together and to try to navigate sharing custody together and complain to each other, but also know that we're not like, it's not complaining, but it's just, being able to talk about it and someone
Yes,
to have that grace and understanding with you is really important. So
definitely. No,
yeah.
it's great, and just from the articles that I've read, it's just been noted to also make sure that you have like a support system, because although your friends might not be family,
Yeah.
they're still, you don't have to be blood to be able to be that person.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, one of so last Christmas was the first Christmas I didn't have the boys,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really difficult. It was, and I, could have spent it with my family, but I felt like spending it with a friend who I just felt really supported and safe with. And then so I spent it with her and her family, and they completely took care of me. They would bring me glasses of wine while I kind of sat on the couch and felt sorry for myself. We would watch movies, do puzzles. So it's definitely, if it wasn't for the support and love of my friends who also really love and support my children,
Mm-hmm.
then this would have been a very, very difficult process.
Well, that's so important. And Margaret, we still don't see you, but I'm going to send you a Zoom link if that's okay. And we can hop on that, and I'll ask about tips in that one. Is that okay? I hope she says yes.
Yeah, she said okay.
Okay, awesome. Well, I will send you that. And I sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone, but this is how it is when there's a live stream. But thank you so much, Brianna. Thank you, Margaret. I know you could hear me and see me, but this is such an important topic. And if you have any comments, please list them below. Thank you again for sharing your story. And I hope that this has helped all of you in some way. If you are not newly single, but you have friends, I mean, it's a great time to reach out just to, see how things are going. If you have friends that are married too, it's just a great time, so it doesn't really matter. I just think it's a great time to just check in with everybody. People are dealing with all kinds of stuff, and it's just nice to hear from someone who generally does care about you. So thank you so much again, and we will see you next